Hi, I'm Farouk. I'm from onlineaid. Today we'll learn JavaScript closure. Closure is the most important topic in functional programming. JavaScript closure is the power of JavaScript. We'll learn closure in very nice way. I promise you will learn many important things in this video. In the beginning, we should need to know some extra thing in JavaScript like this keyword, return keyword or a statement, scoping, and lexical scope. After that, we will learn closure. First, let's start this keyword. If you are new to my channel before coding, be sure to subscribe. I'll be very encouraged and inspired. If I console log this keyword, we got a whole windows. We always use console.log. Did you know where does console came from? Let's find out the matter. But we need to know we cannot assign this keyword as a variable name. But we can use this keyword as a variable value. Windows dot has own property console. It's return a boolean value. Yes, the Windows has a console property. That reason we access the console. Similar to log property, Windows hasn't log property, but console has log property. You may be wondering where we got has property from. Yes, I'll show you. According to JavaScript, every object has has own property. Here you are. Because JavaScript is a prototype based language. Let's create an object. In object, we assign two property. One is the simple property and another one is a method. Method is a function. You should understand properly. We can assign property in several ways, but we will use modern way like this way, okay? In this method body, we'll log our console. Let's see what's available on the console. We must call the method. We have got our object body. It's different from when we first time calls this in the console. Three major ways to declare JavaScript variable: var, let, and const. We're gonna define a variable with the var keyword. Let's see whether we find the Apple variable inside the Windows object. But we should remember that declaring a variable or function expression with late or const keyword, it doesn't add to the Windows object. We're gonna create a function just for demonstration purpose. Let's see what we are gonna get. We get two scope. One is our script and another is our global object. It's very inspiring. JavaScript return statement or keyword only valid in function body. We can return any valid expression. Function can return primitive value and object value. Primitive value like string number and boolean. Object value like array object function. We're gonna create a block scope. If our condition will true the return true. Our code looks like valid, but our code isn't valid. The return keyword only valid in function body. It will throw an illegal return statement with a syntax error. Let's see how many error type exists in JavaScript. Eval error, internal error, range error, reference error, syntax error, type error, and URI error. Let's cut our chunk of code. We're gonna create a function and function name will be the condition. Before invoking our function, put our block of code in the function body. Now the result will be true. Else return will false, return false. We don't need to else block, just print return false. Another key point is that if we return something or we compose more code after return, it won't work. Did you see my console is disabled? In this block, after the return keyword, our code won't be executable. Alright. JavaScript has the following kind of scope: global scope, function or local scope, block scope, and module scope. Module scope is pretty advanced. We don't discuss about module scope in this video. We will assign variables in three different ways: var, let, and const. These three variables are global. We will access this variable anywhere in my code base. We're gonna create a function. We will console all of our variables. And down we will invoke our function. We got our variable. How did I get it? Because we have variable in the global scope. Now comment our global variable, then create some local or functional scope variable. Here you are. If I access the variable outside the scope, we cannot access it. We know let and const are block scope. But what about var? If we create a variable with a var keyword, you cannot access it outside of the function. Let's remove the object and give a single one. If I log my console, in my function body, we will get the expected output. Alright. We can access any global resource in the function body. We have permission. Block scope is slightly different compared to function scope. Technically, when we create curly braces, we create a block. It can be functional block or any other block. We're gonna create a traditional for loop. People always use I for variable. You can use anything you want. isn't mandatory. The condition should be true. Oops, I did log the console wrong. Here we go. We see the loop output in the console. If we change late to var, then we can access the variable. Can you see? We got 4 times 10. Alright, late and const is perfect for block scope. Let's look at one more point. If we log our global variable in block scope, what will happen? We get a variable in every loop. It's only for visualizing. Let's create another simple example. We're gonna create a variable with a late keyword in the block scope. Let's try to access it outside the scope. We getting the same error. Let's change late to var keyword. Then try to access. We got access. I think you understand the main point. Now we're gonna remove all my code. Technically, when we create a JavaScript file and link to an HTML page, the JavaScript engine creates a global execution context for our script. Also, you can call it global scope. We're gonna create a global variable. Let's see a real example of the functional scope. When you define a function in the script, it's also a global scope. Let's see the example. You can also pass an argument on any global scope. We can access global variable in the function scope. Let's take an if blocks. If true, then log the console. We're gonna create a variable in block scope. We're getting the expected output. We create another variable in the local scope. It's mean function scope. Let's see. Let's see the lexical scope example. We'll write the name of the children function lexical for better understanding. I know it's very weird name. It's only for demonstration and better understanding purposes. Let's invoke the lexical function. In the lexical function, we can access any scope without the block scope. We can access the local variable and we also can access the global variable. But we can access the block scope. The relationship between parent and child function is called lexical scope. I think you got the concept. This child function has its own scope. This children function has its own scope. Did you see when we comment on our local variable, our function scope variable becomes active. Closure in JavaScript. We'll give couple of examples. We're gonna create a function and the function name will be welcome. This function take a parameter. In this welcome function, we return another function according to JavaScript. It's called anonymous function. Look carefully at the syntax. It will come in handy later. This anonymous function will take a parameter for me. We will log our console with template literal. Here beginners get confused. How do I call the function? First, we need to understand what we did here. We create a welcome function and this welcome function we return another function. Let's store our welcome function in a variable. This whole variable has one more function. I know it's very complicated, but you should realize the code. Let's invoke well. This is your closure. Let's see what we get in the console. Did you see we get hi Alex? We can do it this way. It will work just like the above code. I know it's very weird. I will show one more example. I want to clarify your concept. Let's create a function, and this function will have no parameter. We're gonna create a variable and also create a function print name. Log the console name variable, return our print name. We don't invoke our function, we just return the function reference. Did you see it? Alright. Let's invoke the print function. If we see the console, we don't get anything. Let's declare a variable and put your function in the variable. We need to call our variable because our variable is a function right now. And this is your closer. We get Truckee in the console. We can do it like before. Print double parentheses. If you understand this part, you will become a master of JavaScript closure. I hope you enjoy the video. If you learned something from this video, subscribe to onlineaid and stay tuned. I will see you in the next video.